Police searching for the person who shot and killed a woman leaving an East Side bar. Plus, a group of teens in big trouble after a chase with police. Those top stories just ahead.
A big hiring event is happening right now. We're going to tell you where to go for a job with the San Antonio Spurs.
Our cold front can't get here fast enough. Still scheduled for Saturday morning. We'll let you know when that rain moves through and how cold it's going to get coming up.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
We start with a deadly shooting outside of a bar that led to more questions than answers.
It happened early this morning in the 1300 block of Hayes Street and North New Braunfels Avenue on the city's east side.
Stephen Cavazos with the moments that led up to a woman's death.
Who pulled the trigger? That's a question San Antonio police want answered. It was early Thursday morning when they arrived to the crime scene on Hayes Street near North New Braunfels, not far from the AT&T Center. That's where they found one woman had been shot. Crime scene tape marked off the area as police spoke to witnesses and gathered information. They later learned the woman was leaving a nearby bar with a group of people. It was around that time someone fired a single shot, which killed her. But police don't have much else to go on, and a description of the shooter has not been released. The Bexar County Medical Examiner has not released the victim's name, but she is believed to be in her 30s. The investigation into her death is still ongoing. Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News.
It appears a whole lot of effort may have gone to waste in the case of 4 teenage suspects.
San Antonio police say those teenagers tried to get away but were caught in a West Side neighborhood. They say they found the teens hiding behind and under a home on Loma Park Street, not far from St. Mary's University.
As Katrina Weber reports, evading arrest may be the least of the charges filed against them.
San Antonio police lend a hand to a teen caught in a tight spot. But he and 3 of his friends are still in a jam, facing charges in connection with the events of a wild night, a gun battle, and police chase. It ended around 1 this morning in the 200 block of Loma Park Street, where a neighbor fired shots after seeing them hiding in his backyard. Officers still had to send up a drone and send in a dog to get them out. Although San Antonio police made those arrests, they say this whole thing actually started in Kirby. They believe those 4 suspects were involved in a gun battle with people in another car there, then led Kirby police on a chase. That started around 9 last night. Kirby police later called off their chase and called San Antonio police for help. Using their helicopter, SAPD spotted the car with the teens, which they say was stolen, and went after it. Those 4 suspects tried to run and even hide, but none of it worked for them. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
New this noon, 2 men have been arrested in connection with the murder of a 23-year-old man. Damont Anthony Franklin, seen here, arrested yesterday along with Gary Eugene Clark II. The men accused of killing Julian Angelo in a botched drug deal back on September 30th. It was in the 8,000 block of Bentley, not too far from Mid-Crown and Walsham. Police say that these men, along with a 3rd suspect who hasn't been caught, face capital murder charges now. Bonds for Clark set at $300,000, Franklin's at $450,000.
2 San Antonio police officers who were fired last year now officially facing criminal charges this noon. A grand jury has indicted Carlos Castro and Thomas Villarreal. They are both charged with aggravated assault by a public servant, which is a first-degree felony. This is in connection to the arrest of Eric Wilson back in January of 2020. According to the police report, Wilson was punched repeatedly, ended up with bruises. As you can see in his mugshot, the former officers, if convicted, could face up to life in prison. Records show that they have not yet been arrested.
This just into the KSAT 12 newsroom. The Texas Department of Public Safety now issuing a silver alert for this man. He is 54-year-old Leroy Roman. He was last seen in the 100 block of Clark Street in Ingram, Texas. We're told he does wear glasses. He was wearing a blue shirt, blue jeans, and black tennis shoes. He's also got a tattoo of a rosary around his neck. If you see this man, please call the number on your screen. It is the 6th day of search, rescue, and recovery in Mayfield, Kentucky. President Biden touching down in the region to survey the damage left by those deadly tornadoes.
This as more harrowing stories of survival and loss emerge. ABC's Ike Adochi is in Mayfield, Kentucky, with a look at the president's visit.
President Biden touring parts of Kentucky Wednesday from the air and the ground.
The scope and scale of this destruction is almost beyond belief.
Biden pledging support to the region in whatever way possible. So far, 600 National Guard have been deployed over 18 hard-hit counties.
Search and rescue to search and recovery. And now we're in a little bit more of a law enforcement mode.
FEMA providing 61 generators, over 38,000 gallons of water, 24,000 meals, and tens of thousands of cots and blankets.
I intend to do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to support your state, your local leaders, and as you recover and rebuild.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear updating the president. He says hundreds of families are currently being sheltered in state park facilities, with about 100 rooms remaining across those parks. At the moment, cell providers are stepping up to get connectivity restored, but that continues to be a challenge. Biden meeting with several families still grieving over their loss of their homes and loved ones.
And those who have lost someone, there's no words for the pain of losing someone.
That pain felt by so many, like Huda Alubahi, who says her 3-year-old son, Jaleel, was killed when their Mayfield home collapsed on top of them. She held him and his brother close as they huddled together in their bathroom.
It's defeating, it's tiring, looking at this makes me sick, but we just got to figure out how we're gonna go on, without them.
Now, this area is bracing for more heavy wind and more heavy rain, making the rescue and recovery mission that much more difficult. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Mayfield, Kentucky.
Tough situation there. Attention job seekers, there is a big hiring event going on right now. RJ Marquez is out at the AT&T Center where they are looking to fill hundreds of jobs. He explains that there's still some time to get out to AT&T.
Spurs Sports and Entertainment looking to hire hundreds of positions for the upcoming calendar year. And as we're inside the AT&T Center, we have Spurs games here. We have big boxing matches, huge concerts, all sorts of events. So they're going to be hiring for several different positions. That includes ushers, ticket representatives, and the hiring process is going to be pretty easy. All you have to do is stop by the AT&T Center until 2 o'clock today to check out if you want to work for Spurs Sports and Entertainment. Casey Heverling with SSNE talked about what type of applicants they're looking for to be part of the Spurs family.
Our culture is strong with the Spurs family, and we're always looking for folks to join our family and be an example of our value-based, approach to everything that we do and delivering that experience for fans. We have exciting events, throughout the calendar year, and so we're always very busy and have the opportunities available. So beyond this job fair today from 10 to 2 here at the arena, we're going to host more throughout January.
Featured job positions and featured staff positions have an hourly rate of starting at around $12 an hour. And if you want more information, all you got to do is head over to AT&TCenter.com. RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Speaking of the Spurs, they entered their homestand getting stung by Charlotte. We'll show you what a big-time scoring night looks like.
And after the break, we're going to take a look at how the Salvation Army and its volunteers are making Christmas extra special for families in need this holiday season.
The Salvation Army spreading cheer to local families and distributing gifts to thousands of children this holiday season thanks to its Angel Tree program.
Tiffany Huerta shows us how this program is impacting families and how volunteers like you could play a major role.
This year is great because we're able to see a lot of our corporate volunteers come back.
One after another, shopping carts filled with toys for children in our community. The Salvation Army's Angel Tree toy distribution kicked off this morning.
It's all about the community. When the angels go up for adoption, members of the community, they go and they adopt a child and they purchase those toys that are on the wish list, and they bring them back here, and then we fill the boxes up.
Due to the pandemic, several volunteers didn't participate last year, but things look different today. About 7,000 children will be receiving a gift thanks to this program, all of it possible thanks to the volunteers.
Volunteering at the Salvation Army is very special to me, giving back to the community, making it a very Merry Christmas for the children.
The program impacting not just families, but volunteers too.
You see tears of joy from people that, they're so elated that they were able to, provide gifts for their family. And also with our volunteers, you get a lot of them that come each year and tell us that once upon a time they were an Angel Tree recipient, so they want to give back.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Outside with live cam, we like the warmth. It's okay. It's South Texas, but at some point we got to feel a little wintry.
It's kind of funny. There's all these Christmas parties going on, and people are wearing short sleeves and.
I feel like this whole week we've just been like waiting for Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Like, just keep talking about this cold front. It's almost here, and there is going to be some cooler air headed our way for at least a couple of days. The aquifer is still holding steady at 663.2. In your pollen count, Mountain Cedar jumped up into the high category today, 8,280. I think a lot of people are feeling that. Molds are moderate at 560. A lot to talk about. It was a busy day across the country yesterday. We'll talk about that a little bit, and also look ahead to this cold front and those cooler temperatures coming up.
Was outdoor yesterday. Short sleeves and shorts for a lot of people I saw outside yesterday doing stuff.
Playing golf.
Well, I wouldn't give away that secret.
I didn't know it was a secret.
Thanks.
Ooh, she blew your cover, man.
She did.
Oh, man. In December in Texas.
It's been a wild start to the month.
Yeah.
But, it was like a 2-club wind.
Was it?
What was that? Yeah, what was up with
What does that mean?
It means if you're like hitting a golf ball against the wind, you got to have an extra club.
Means David's a scratch golfer.
If normally you would hit a 7, you might have to go down to like a 6 or a 5.
Sounds kind of like a ringer.
He's pretty good.
I know.
Yeah, those winds,
windy.
though, not as bad as up north.
Yeah, it was bad yesterday. We got some big-time wind gusts across the country. It was pretty impressive to see. And you look at the 24-hour peak wind gusts in the map, you see a lot of purple. That's where all the strong winds were. But look at these numbers. 107 yesterday in Lamar, Colorado. And that wasn't with a thunderstorm. Those were just winds that kicked up dust. Just incredible. 84-mile-per-hour wind gust in Dodge City. You go up to places like even Minneapolis, 45-mile-per-hour wind gust. That was with some storms. Lincoln, 93 miles per hour. Obviously, that did some damage. That was a derecho event, meaning there was a long duration of wind with these storms. There were also tornadoes associated with this. These are all the storm reports, and we had 434 yesterday across parts of Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. 92-mile-per-hour wind gusts with some of these storms. And it looks as though Minnesota saw its first December tornado in history. So a pretty wild weather pattern here that unfolded. And you can see the low, a powerful one. It's finally moving northeast, but there's still some more energy behind that that'll be moving on board. And we're going to finally get some cooler air pushing down into Texas for us by the time we get into Saturday. There is a frontal boundary out there right now that extends across central Texas, and it is pushing south, but all indications are it will not make it here. It'll push just into the hill country and stall out. It's not until Saturday that we'll get that secondary push of cooler air. And you can see where the front is right now, stretching just north of San Angelo to the Dallas area. Behind it, 40s and 50s and low 60s are out towards Midland. So it is cooler behind the front, and it is helping to generate a few showers. Right now here, we've got 75 and cloudy. Southerly winds at about 11 miles per hour, and it is still very, very humid. The radar does show a couple of light showers down to our south and east, Cuero to Victoria, and a few very light returns showing up around Fredericksburg, and that's kind of along that front up there across parts of the hill country. As far as cloud cover goes, still fairly cloudy here in town, but notice there are breaks as you work south and east, and we'll get some of those breaks to work into Bexar County. So just like yesterday, temperatures are going to be very warm, if not near records. The record today is 81. We're forecasting 80, already up to 75. In places where there is sun, it's 80 in Kennedy, 79 in Gonzales, and very, very humid. Dew points are in the 60s and 70s. Okay, so we're ready for that to change, right? It does this weekend. It does. We'll finally get a break. 80 degrees this afternoon, 77, 6 p.m., 76 by 8 p.m. So here is the futurecast. By tomorrow afternoon, that next push of cold air is sitting across North Texas. Shoved south by Saturday morning, we're getting a line of showers and storms with this front. I think the front moves through about mid-morning. Then it becomes gusty and cooler. Showers and storms stick around through early afternoon. And then we get a break in the action. And as we get into Sunday, probably a break to start the day, but then showers start to move back in, and as an upper level low moves in from the west. And so showers are a good bet, especially late Sunday into early Monday. And then we clear out on Monday and temperatures warm up. So here's how it looks in the 7-day forecast. 80 today, 80 tomorrow, but into the 50s, dropping into the 50s by Saturday afternoon. Windy with a good chance of showers and storms early. On Sunday, 40% chance of showers late. That lingers over into Monday morning, 56 on Monday. Then clearing out next week as we officially go into winter and back into the 70s by Wednesday, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
High school athletes making college decisions while other high school students are getting scholarship money thanks to a college bowl game coming up.
This SA Salute holiday greeting is brought to you by IAQ Cleaning.
From our IAQ experts family to yours, we want to wish the military a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Thank you for your service.
The Spurs wrapping up their 5-game homestand last night, taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Lonnie Walker IV was out. He has a stomach flu. We go to the first quarter. Miles Bridges sinks a three-pointer. Hornets lead 44-23. Charlotte made 10 of 15 in the first quarter. They were up 46-31 after one. They started last night shooting 38% from three this season. They tied for the best in the NBA. Their average got better. Second quarter, Kevin Johnson makes a 7-foot floater, cut the lead to 8 at the time, but the Hornets led 73-57 at halftime. We go to the third quarter, Spurs trying to get back in it. Derek White, slam dunk. They're down 10, 75-65, just couldn't get over the hump, though. Kelly Oubre Jr. steals the ball to Gordon Hayward for the layup. It's 93-72 Hornets. Timeout Spurs late in the quarter. It's going to be Hayward. Oh, man. Charlotte led 110-82 after three. Hayward had 41 points after three quarters. He was done for the night. Didn't even play the fourth quarter after scoring 41. The Hornets beat the Spurs 131-115.
There's no excuse, to be honest with you. It should never be the case. No matter how hot they were, whatever you want to say, there's no excuse. Like, should have been more physical, had more effort, been more focused. It just wasn't a good night defensively for us at all.
Yeah. Best offense in the league, if you look at the numbers. So just didn't come out ready to go, and it made us pay.
All right, well, hopefully they can be ready to go when they take on the Utah Jazz. They hit the road for 4, and they start this road trip Friday night, 8 o'clock against Utah. The UIL State Football Championships are now underway. The 15-0 Shiner Comanches face the 15-0 Holly Bearcats for the Class 2A Division I title at AT&T Stadium. Led second quarter handoff. Doug Brooks, left run, slips, tackle, and scores. 28-yard touchdown. It's 21-12 Shiner at the half. He's listed at 6 foot, 265 pounds, but he runs a lot lighter than that. Third quarter. Quarterback Drew Winsky tosses back to Doug for a nice hole and a 10-yard touchdown. His third of the game. Shiner rolling 28-12. That score was a result of Bearcats' turnovers. And the Shiner Comanches defend their state title 47-12. Back-to-back state champs now. It was a big day for high school football players and colleges. The early signing period started yesterday, allowing high school student athletes to sign a national letter of intent. We stopped by Floresville, Southside Justin, and Central Catholic yesterday. So let's start with the Buttons, where two friends since middle school are now headed to play for UTSA.
It's a dream come true, you could say, really, that not only do I get to continue playing on at a D1 level, but I get to do that with somebody who I've been dreaming of doing it with since, I was 13 years old. So it's a blessing.
To say that I'm going to be with him in the next level, it's surreal. So I always know I have someone, there with me on the first day and, for the next 4 or 5 years. And, we're brothers. We're brothers at this point. So, I'm extremely comfortable and, I'm just excited.
It's a blessing, but, they're all excited. I mean, it's a little bit from home, but, they just want the best for me. And then I'm just thinking about more than just football, because football will never get you, like as far as Princeton degree will.
Just how it felt like family. It felt like home. When I took my visit back in June, me and my family were just instantly gravitated towards the place, and it just felt like home to me, and everybody was nice and welcoming.
It just felt like the right place. Coach McDaniels, Coach Hogerson, everybody, it just felt like a family atmosphere. So I just went with it, and they're loving me, I'm loving them. So that's really all it is.
And in the meantime, the Valero Alamo Bowl awarded more than $1 million in scholarships to a record 160 San Antonio high school and college students via 2 programs. The first $660,000 will be split between a record 88 winners of Valero Alamo Bowl student athlete scholarship winners. The students included at least 1 winner from every San Antonio area public school and well-established private schools.
I was really excited because I usually tend to worry about money going to college, and knowing that I have this money now, it really helps me out.
I was nervous. I didn't really think about it that much. When I got it at the mail, I was really surprised, but I'm just super grateful for Valero Bowl for giving me the scholarship.
That's awesome. Many people are grateful, too, for the chance to work from home, but it does have its drawbacks. Coming up, how experts say the pandemic has affected our posture.
Plus, the latest on the Omicron variant. It's popping up in more and more places, and experts are warning it could bring more chaos amid the holiday season. Now to the growing concern over the COVID-19 Omicron variant. Top health experts say it could be the most contagious form of COVID yet, and it's rapidly spreading across the country.
The cases and hospitalizations are all on the rise. ABC's Alex Prochet explains why some CDC models are saying an increase in deaths could also follow.
With the holiday season upon us, health officials warn the risk of getting sick with COVID is going up once again as families are getting together indoors. The U.S. is now reporting just under 118,000 new cases each day, up 45% in the last month. Cases of the Omicron variant fueling some of that growth, though Delta remains the dominant and most worrisome strain, especially among the unvaccinated. A new CDC model suggests the U.S. could reach 845,000 deaths from the virus by January 8th.
Given the increase in transmissibility, this also means continuing to be vigilant about masking in public indoor settings in areas of substantial or high community transmission.
Though experts stopping short of saying Americans should cancel holiday plans. Dr. Anthony Fauci on Good Morning America.
Do we need to limit holiday gatherings, limit holiday travel?
Yeah, I don't think so, George. If you and your family are vaccinated and boosted, hopefully, you should feel comfortable about having a holiday situation where you have dinners and gatherings in your own home with family and friends.
Fauci says boosters are crucial. The shot works against the new variant. And among seniors, the rate of getting the disease was 10 times lower for those who got the extra dose versus people their same age who didn't or weren't vaccinated at all. Already, a number of universities are taking action. NYU and Princeton among the latest to cancel year-end events like holiday parties in the name of safety. George Washington University and Cornell are moving all final exams from in-person to online.
Later this afternoon, the president and vice president will meet with members of the COVID-19 response team. The government reports that an average of 1 million Americans a day are getting their COVID booster shots. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
The COVID pandemic hit the child care industry hard, and it is still struggling to recover. But without affordable care for children, parents are having a harder time returning to work. Across the country, more than 10% of child care workers left the industry during the pandemic. At first, they were driven out by closures and furloughs, but now it is wage competition. Nationwide, and the average child care worker makes just over $12 an hour, far less than K through 12 teachers. And across the U.S., roughly 10% of child care programs have closed. Others are downsizing, and that is driving up prices and bigger, longer wait lists for parents.
The White House has a new plan to get more truckers on the road. The Biden administration's Supply Chain Disruptions Task Force will unveil its trucking action plan today. It's an effort to address a shortage that some industry insiders say has grown to 80,000 unfilled jobs. According to the American Trucking Association, that could grow to 160,000 by 2030.
We're teaming up with the Department of Labor, taking a number of steps across the next 30, 60, 90 days and beyond. In the near term, a lot of it's about taking down some of the red tape that gets in the way of people who want a career in trucking, being able to get tested for a commercial driver's license, for example. In the longer run, frankly, we need to do more to make this a more secure, well-compensated, and well-respected job, and we're going to be looking at that too.
The plan also includes an effort by the Department of Labor to increase trucking apprentices and outreach to military veterans looking to enter the industry. The plan also establishes a joint initiative between the Departments of Labor and Transportation to recruit new drivers.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. There's little bits and pieces of sun out there if you look hard enough, but mostly clouds.
Yeah, it's mostly clouds now. We will see, I think, some more peaks of sun throughout the afternoon, which will have a big bearing on where our temperatures go. It's very possible we could tie or even set a record today. The record high is 81. We're going to get close. And roughly 2/3 of the country is dealing with warmth or dealing with cold. About a third is dealing with warmth. That includes us here in South Texas and over to Florida and up the East Coast. But behind our cold front here, which is trying to move into Texas, there are some chillier readings. 27 in Casper, 11 in Bismarck, 19 in Minneapolis. After seeing severe weather there yesterday and some pretty warm temperatures, things have changed drastically. Here in Texas, the front is right across central Texas at this point. It's cooler up in Amarillo and Lubbock, pretty warm out ahead of it, still very humid, obviously. And that front is helping to create a few showers. We're noticing some very light returns across parts of the hill country and then some showers along the coast too. It's not going to add up to much. And you can see that we are beginning to get some breaks here in Barrett County from those clouds. So it'll be a mostly cloudy afternoon. Do want to pass this along once again. Mountain Cedars in the high category, 8,280. Molds moderate at 560s. So if you're sniffling and sneezing, that could be why. 80 degrees today, just a small chance for showers. Southerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. One more day of this. One more day of warmth before our cold front. We're also going to take a look at the drought monitor, which has come in. That's coming up here in just a couple minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Working from home has its perks, but back pain from pandemic posture, that's a thing. It could be a downside. ABC's Morgan Norwood breaks it down in today's Medical Minute.
Doctors have seen an increased amount of back and neck pain complaints in the past year. Pandemic posture could be one of the major causes after months spent sitting at a desk for online meetings. Staying in the same position for too long can lead to muscle spasms and muscle fatigue, while slouching can put an increased pressure on joints on one side of the body. To improve your posture at home, start with a well-cushioned chair to support your body. Using a footrest can also be helpful, especially for shorter people, so that their knees can be held at a more comfortable angle. Keep the computer monitor at eye level to take pressure off of your neck. An ergonomic mouse can help with wrist, arm, and shoulder discomfort. Reconsider the use of standing desk, since standing for extended periods of time can also worsen back pain. Finally, use a timer to remind you to take frequent breaks from your chair and stretch. With this Medical Minute, I'm Morgan Norwood.
It is crunch time for mail delivery. Still ahead, we get a behind-the-scenes look at the men and women that make it all happen during the busiest time of the year.
Hello, everyone. This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar News. Amtrak announcing Wednesday their CEO Bill Flynn will step down next month. Flynn will be replaced by Amtrak President Stephen Gardner. That as the company embarks on a big expansion that'll see their operation funded by Congress. Amtrak set to receive $22 billion from Congress. That is part of the massive infrastructure bill that will be adding service and upgrading significant stations throughout the country. Meanwhile, Reddit quietly filed for an IPO with U.S. security regulators on Wednesday. The message board site, last valued at $10 billion earlier this year, home to boards like the popular Wall Street Bets page that became the root of the meme stock frenzy earlier this year. They have not clarified the number of shares that will be offered, nor the price range either. And Lowe's expecting fewer people who got to get to Lowe's next year. That is, they anticipate home improvement demand to cool down. This comes after the home improvement retailers saw massive success during the pandemic when more people embarked on those do-it-yourself projects. Lowe's now expecting same-store sales to fall as much as 3% or be roughly flat next fiscal year. And that's Cheddar News, business and tech update. I'm Baker Machado coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
And of course, it is Christmas time, and the U.S. Postal Service says this week is the busiest week of the year.
If you've ever wondered how our postal people manage to get it all done during crunch time, ABC's Ryan Curry takes us behind the scenes of a California distribution center.
It's the holiday rush right in front of our eyes. Packages, letters, and fast-moving conveyor belts. It's all part of what USPS says is the busiest week of the year.
Just this week, we're going to process over 200 million packages. And when we're looking at letters and flats and packages, over 2.3 billion pieces.
Eduardo Quadra is the maintenance manager for the Oakland Center. He says this facility alone will process over 70,000 packages.
In anticipation of Christmas, people want to make sure that their relatives and friends are going to get their presents on time.
The several thousand square foot facility is the largest in the Bay Area. In the front is where crews are sorting pounds of holiday cards, and in the back are dozens of sorting machines for packages. That area is for smaller packages, anything under 20 pounds. Then if you come over here, this area is for larger packages. And that robotic arm is adding special labels to packages getting shipped overseas.
What you see behind us is a universal sorter. And this machine is processing packages that are oversized. They weigh up to 70 pounds.
To be ready for a week like this, Quadra says USPS prepares all year for it. Even now, during the supply chain issue, he says they always have a crew present 24/7 to help make sure they deliver the best service possible to the whole country.
This is where the rubber meets the road. So we have to come in and we got to make sure we deliver for the customer.
And if you haven't sent out your package, Quadra says it's best to do it as soon as possible.
Get in line right now. Got to go get them, got to make sure you go to your post office.
In Oakland, Ryan Curry, ABC 7 News.
A lot of packages.
A lot of clouds.
There you go.
And there's some bugs,
What was
too.
that? Was that a bug?
I think those were bugs.
Didn't we see a bug? Was it yesterday there was a bug on there?
There's a bug today.
Okay, there's another bug. There you go. It's humid. It's warm. Bugs are loving it. 75 so far today. The low this morning 69, which, by the way, could be another record low maximum. 65 and 42 are the averages, so we're well above average. The records are 81 and 17. 81 is in jeopardy today. That was set back in 1980. We've got more on that cold front. We're timing out the rainfall for you coming up.
Can't decide if I'm more excited about this cold front coming in or if I'm more excited about Christmas Day in a week.
All I know is I'm making chili on Saturday.
On Saturday, okay. Saturday, I was going to say a little.
Because it's going to be chilly.
Okay.
A little bit.
That works. And then you can save some of it and bring it to work for everybody on Monday.
There will be no leftovers, my friend.
Okay.
Is
But
this
if there
the chili
are, I'll bring them.
that you put all the Cajun spices in?
Yeah.
Oh.
She makes it spicy. Let's take a look at the drought monitor. As we look across the state of Texas, drought continues to creep in. It's not a good situation, honestly. And with yesterday's wind across the Texas Panhandle, there were several wildfires that got started. And as we look a little closer to home here, there are parts of our area that are now under severe drought. It's been that way for a couple of weeks now, Carrizo Springs in particular. But the drought's trying to spread east, not quite into Bexar County, but we could start to see some dry conditions here soon. And the drought conditions have increased. 55% of the state was in drought last week. This week's 58%, just to give you some perspective. And a little closer look at Medina Lake, 26% full, still falling, down 46 feet compared to the conservation pool, and down about 4 feet since 3 months ago. So we can use some rain. That's the bottom line. There is some rain in the forecast Saturday. I don't know if it's going to be a lot, but hopefully it will bring some relief. And we showed you the temperatures up north. They're pretty cold. Here in Texas, temperatures are falling a little bit in places like Amarillo and Lubbock, 58 in Abilene. There's a cold front there. And this cold front is going to stall out, make it a little bit further south today before putting on the brakes. It's not until Saturday that we get a second surge of colder air, and that's when that cold air pushes into our neck of the woods and gives us some changes finally. Time lapse shows we had those morning clouds, but no fog. Just like yesterday morning, there was enough wind there where we didn't get any fog development. 75 degrees right now, southerly winds at about 11 miles per hour in that dew point, still really high at 67. The radar does show some light returns anywhere from Cuero to Victoria over to Edna. It's kind of the same corridors we were looking at yesterday. There could be some light showers that work their way up to Howlettsville. Also noticing a few very, very light returns up there across the hill country. If we see any rain today, it's probably not going to add up to much at all. And the satellite picture shows we've got a good area of cloud cover stretching from Kerrville to Rock Springs, Uvalde, and Del Rio. It'll be hard for these clouds to break up, so it's probably cloudy, going to stay cloudy in the hill country. But if you're San Antonio, points southeast, clouds are breaking up, and you'll likely see some sun, and it is making a big difference when it comes to the temperatures. Now in the 80s, low 80s, Gonzales, Kennedy, Victoria, San Antonio at 75, but if we see more of those breaks, we'll likely jump up near 80. On top of having some really thick humidity, dew points, as we mentioned, in the upper 60s, close to 70. That has not changed at all. What will change is the temperature on Saturday. We mentioned that. We're going to be near record highs both today and tomorrow, but we fall off Saturday and Sunday. We're in the 50s. Monday will be pretty chilly too, and then we start to warm back up. So let's look at the forecast really quickly here, how it kind of plays out rain-wise. That front moves into the area Saturday morning. A line of showers and storms with the front. That will move south. I think midday we've still got some rain around, but by the afternoon it's pushing out of the area. So we get a little bit of a break Saturday evening, Sunday morning. But then our upper level low out west starts to move in, and that brings showers back into the forecast Sunday evening and into the morning on Monday before that moves away and we get clearing skies. So the extended forecast, 80 today and tomorrow. Falling temperatures. That front, by the way, is set to arrive, I'd say 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning here in San Antonio on Saturday. 60% chance of rain as it does. Windy. 41 Sunday morning, 52 for a high on Sunday with a chance of showers in the afternoon. Another small chance Monday morning. And then after that, some quieter weather and warmer weather next week, guys.
So if they don't eat all the chili on Saturday, they'll eat it on Sunday.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just make more.
Okay. Christmas coming early for Marvel fans. Still ahead in the Spotlight, a preview of Spider-Man No Way Home. That and more in the Spotlight.